Every word you speak to your child, every action you take, and even every thought you hold as a parent weaves into the fabric of karma that shapes both your life and theirs. Parenting isn't just about raising children, it's a spiritual journey where your energy, intentions, and choices echo far beyond the present moment. The lessons you teach today become the karma your child carries tomorrow. In this video, we'll explore the deep spiritual connection between parenting and karma, and how understanding it can transform not just your child's future, but your own soul's growth. Understanding karma in the context of parenting. Karma is often misunderstood as some cosmic punishment or reward system, but in its purest sense, it is simply the law of cause and effect. Every action, every choice, and every intention sends ripples into the universe that eventually return to us. When it comes to parenting, this truth becomes even more profound. Your children are not just learning from what you tell them. They are absorbing who you are, the energy you carry, and the way you live your life. In many spiritual traditions, it is believed that souls choose their families for specific lessons and growth. This means that your child's journey is intertwined with yours for reasons that go beyond coincidence. Every interaction between you and your child is an opportunity to plant seeds of compassion, patience, discipline, love, or, if we're not mindful, seeds of fear, resentment, or anger. The karma you create as a parent doesn't just shape your own path, it also influences the energetic foundation of your child's life. Think about it. When you respond to your child with understanding rather than frustration, you are not only teaching them emotional intelligence, you are creating a karmic loop of patience and kindness that will echo back to you. Conversely, if you consistently meet them with harshness or neglect, that energy doesn't just disappear. It settles into the relationship, into their perception of love, and ultimately into the energy you receive from them later in life. Parenting through the lens of karma requires a deep awareness of intention. It's not enough to simply do the right things on the outside. The energy behind those actions matters just as much. If you discipline from a place of love, you're building trust and respect. If you discipline from a place of ego or anger, you may achieve short-term obedience but plant long-term resentment. Understanding this spiritual connection doesn't mean you will never make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the journey. What matters is your willingness to acknowledge them, learn from them, and repair the energy between you and your child. That act of humility creates powerful, positive karma. It shows your child that love is stronger than pride, and that relationships are worth protecting. The most beautiful aspect of karmic parenting is that every moment is a fresh chance to redirect the energy you are creating. Even if the past was filled with misunderstandings or missteps, today you can choose a different vibration. You can choose to speak words that heal, to act in ways that inspire, and to set intentions that uplift both you and your child. In doing so, you are not only nurturing their future, you are shaping your own spiritual legacy. Children as mirrors of our own karmic lessons. One of the most humbling truths in parenting is that children often reflect back to us the very traits, habits, and emotional patterns we carry, whether we are aware of them or not. This is not an accident. Spiritually speaking, children serve as mirrors of our own karmic lessons, shining a light on the parts of ourselves that are ready to be healed, refined, or transformed. When your child displays impatience, stubbornness, or even defiance, it's easy to label these behaviors as problems in them. But what if instead you viewed them as a reflection of something within you, either from your current life or from a karmic imprint carried forward through generations? This shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, parenting becomes not just about guiding your child, but also about confronting your own patterns. Consider this. A parent who struggles with control might have a child who constantly pushes boundaries. This is not simply defiance, it's life inviting the parent to examine their own relationship with trust and letting go. Similarly, a parent who has suppressed emotions might have a highly expressive child who forces them to engage with feelings they've avoided. In both cases, the child's behavior is a karmic teacher, bringing awareness to what needs attention in the parent's soul. This mirroring effect isn't meant to shame you. It's meant to awaken you. Parenting becomes a sacred exchange where the lessons flow both ways. You teach your child how to navigate life, and they teach you how to grow spiritually. Sometimes the very qualities in them that frustrate you most are the same qualities you've been asked on a soul level to understand and integrate. Acknowledging this truth requires humility and openness. It means accepting that your child's difficult moments are not personal attacks, they're invitations for self-reflection. Ask yourself, why does this behavior trigger me so much? Is it because it reminds me of my younger self, or is it highlighting an area where I've yet to grow? When you approach parenting with these questions, you move from reacting to reflecting. The beauty of seeing children as karmic mirrors is that it empowers you to break cycles. Many patterns, anger, fear, scarcity, control, are passed down unconsciously from one generation to the next. But when you recognize them in yourself through your child's reflection, you have the power to shift them. This isn't just about improving your relationship today. It's about changing the karmic blueprint of your entire family line. In the spiritual journey of parenting, your child is not just your responsibility, they are your partner in growth. When you honor the lessons they bring, even the uncomfortable ones, you deepen the bond between you and plant seeds of healing that will bear fruit for generations. The karma of past generations and its influence on parenting. Karma is not created in isolation. The energy, beliefs, and behaviors we carry often have roots far deeper than our personal experiences. They are woven from the lives and choices of those who came before us. In parenting, this truth is especially powerful. Many of the patterns we see in ourselves and in our children are not new. They are echoes of generational karma that has been passed down like an invisible inheritance. Think of your family line as a river. It flows with love, strength, and resilience, but it may also carry sediments of pain, fear, or unresolved conflicts. If these energies remain unaddressed, they continue to shape each new generation. A parent who struggles with emotional expression may have learned it from their own parents, who in turn learned it from theirs. Without awareness, these patterns can feel inevitable, as if that's just how our family is. The spiritual opportunity here is profound. By recognizing the influence of generational karma, you have the power to become a cycle breaker. This means consciously choosing to end patterns that do not serve you or your children and replacing them with healthier, more empowering ways of being. This work is not easy. It requires courage to face painful truths and compassion for those who came before you. Sometimes, generational karma shows up in subtle ways: a family-wide fear of failure, a habit of avoiding conflict, or an unspoken belief that love must be earned. Other times, it's more obvious: cycles of addiction, neglect, or emotional distance. These patterns are not your fault, but they are now your responsibility, because the moment you become aware of them, you hold the key to transformation. Healing generational karma in parenting begins with awareness. Observe your automatic reactions to your child's behavior. Are they truly your own? Or are they echoes of how you were treated? Notice the beliefs you hold about discipline, affection, or success. Where did they come from? Which of them align with your higher values, and which are simply inherited scripts? Once you see the pattern, you can choose differently. For example, if your upbringing was filled with criticism, you can consciously choose to speak words of encouragement to your child, even when correcting them. If emotional avoidance was the norm, you can make it a priority to have open, honest conversations in your home. These shifts, while small in daily life, create massive ripples in the karmic flow of your family's future. Breaking generational karma is one of the greatest gifts you can give your child. It not only changes their experience of childhood, it also frees them from carrying forward burdens that were never truly theirs. And in doing this, you are not just parenting your child. You are healing your lineage, rewriting the spiritual story of your family for generations to come. How conscious choices today create karmic blessings for your children's future. Every choice you make as a parent leaves an imprint, not just in your child's memories, but in their energy, their belief systems, and their relationship with the world. Spiritually speaking, these imprints are seeds of karma, and the way you plant and nurture them will influence the blessings or burdens your child carries into their own life. We often underestimate the long-term impact of small, daily decisions. The way you greet your child in the morning sets the tone for their self-worth. The patience you show during a conflict teaches them how to handle disagreements in their own relationships. The discipline you uphold consistently shapes their understanding of responsibility. Each of these moments, however ordinary they seem, is an act of karmic creation. Conscious parenting means living with awareness in these moments. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause and ask yourself, what energy am I passing on right now? Is this choice aligned with love, respect, and growth? This awareness transforms even the simplest actions into acts of spiritual service. For example, choosing to listen attentively when your child speaks tells them they are valued. This creates a karmic foundation of self-respect that will serve them throughout life. Blessings in karma are not just about shielding your child from pain. They are about equipping them with the resilience, wisdom, and compassion to face life's inevitable challenges. You cannot control every hardship they will encounter, but you can control the values and energy you embed in them. A child who grows up seeing forgiveness practiced will carry that same openness into their own relationships. A child who learns self-discipline from a place of love will approach responsibility not as a burden, but as an empowering choice. The most powerful, karmic blessings often come from moments of struggle. When you choose patience instead of anger in a heated moment, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're showing your child how to regulate emotions. When you admit your mistakes and apologize, you're teaching humility and integrity. These lessons become part of their karmic toolkit, shaping the way they interact with others long after childhood ends. It's also important to remember that karmic blessings grow with consistency. A single act of kindness is meaningful, but a pattern of kindness builds trust and a deep sense of safety. In the same way, a single lesson on honesty may fade, but a household built on truth will anchor your child for a lifetime. The energy you repeat becomes the energy they live by. Parenting with this awareness is not about perfection, it's about presence. Every day offers a chance to create blessings that will ripple through your child's future, through their children, and beyond. In planting these seeds today, you are not just shaping one life, you are enriching the karmic garden of generations yet to come. The role of forgiveness in cleansing parental karma. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful spiritual tools a parent can use, not only to heal relationships with their children, but also to cleanse the karmic energy that might otherwise linger for years, even generations. In the context of parenting, forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior or pretending mistakes didn't happen. It's about releasing the heavy emotional energy that binds you to the past so you and your child can move forward with a lighter, more loving connection. Every parent makes mistakes. There are moments when frustration takes over, words come out sharper than intended, or decisions are made in haste rather than wisdom. While these moments are part of being human, holding onto the guilt from them creates stagnant karma, energy that continues to influence your relationship in ways you might not even notice. Forgiveness begins with yourself. When you forgive yourself for the moments you fell short, you open the door to act with more clarity and compassion moving forward. Self-forgiveness doesn't mean avoiding accountability. In fact, it's the opposite. It starts with acknowledging your actions fully. If you shouted when you could have listened, or punished when you could have guided, own it. Then release the shame. Shame locks us into repeating patterns, while self-forgiveness frees us to choose better the next time. This internal shift creates a ripple effect, allowing your interactions with your child to be rooted in love rather than in subconscious guilt. Forgiveness also extends to your child. Children are learning, experimenting, and testing boundaries. Sometimes their words and actions can hurt deeply. Holding resentment toward your child, even quietly, creates a wall in your relationship. This wall may not be visible at first, but over time, it blocks the flow of unconditional love. Forgiving them doesn't mean ignoring harmful behavior. It means separating their mistakes from their worth and choosing to address issues without carrying bitterness in your heart. When you practice forgiveness, you also model it. Your child learns not just from your rules, but from your responses. When they see you let go of grudges and offer second chances, they internalize the idea that love can survive conflict. This lesson becomes part of their karmic inheritance, shaping how they will treat others and themselves in the future. Forgiveness is also a form of karmic cleansing on a spiritual level. Many believe that unresolved conflict between parent and child can echo into future lives, drawing souls back together until harmony is restored. Choosing forgiveness now can break that cycle, allowing both of you to grow without carrying the weight of unresolved pain into the next chapter of your soul's journey. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself as much as your child. It is an act of spiritual courage, a declaration that love will lead, not hurt. When forgiveness becomes a natural part of your parenting, you create space for healing, trust, and the kind of bond that can weather any storm. Mindful communication and its karmic power in parenting. The words you speak to your child are not just sounds carried through the air, they are vibrations that leave a lasting imprint on their heart, mind, and soul. In spiritual terms, each conversation between parent and child is an exchange of energy, and that energy becomes part of your karmic relationship. Mindful communication is the practice of speaking with awareness, intention, and compassion, so that your words uplift rather than harm, guide rather than control, and connect rather than divide. Most parents don't set out to speak harshly or carelessly, yet in moments of stress, exhaustion, or frustration, it's easy to say things we later regret. The karmic danger here is that words can plant seeds, either of confidence or of self-doubt, of trust or of fear. A single phrase repeated over years can shape a child's identity for life. That's why mindfulness in communication is so powerful. It transforms everyday interactions into moments of spiritual teaching. Mindful communication begins with listening. Often, as parents, we are quick to correct, advise, or solve problems before truly hearing our child's feelings. But a child who feels heard is a child who feels valued. When you pause, look them in the eyes, and listen without judgment, you send a deep message. You matter. Your voice matters. This is more than just emotional support. It's karmic nourishment. You are planting seeds of self-worth that will grow into resilience and confidence in adulthood. Tone is equally important. Even when setting boundaries or correcting behavior, the way you speak can determine whether your words are received with openness or resistance. A calm, steady tone communicates safety, while an angry or sarcastic tone may close their heart. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you express them with clarity and care, avoiding language that shames or belittles. Mindful communication also involves choosing words that guide rather than command. For example, instead of saying, "Stop being lazy," you might say, "I know you can focus and get this done." The difference may seem small, but energetically, one attacks identity while the other affirms potential. Over time, these differences accumulate into either a positive or negative karmic pattern in your relationship. Another essential aspect is honesty. Some parents avoid difficult truths, thinking they are protecting their child. But honesty delivered with compassion builds trust, a vital karmic bond that lasts a lifetime. When your child knows you will tell them the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, they are more likely to come to you in moments of need. Every mindful conversation is like placing a brick in the foundation of your child's inner home. You can build walls of fear or walls of love. The choice is yours in each moment you speak. By being intentional with your words, you not only create harmony now, but also set in motion a karmic current of respect, empathy, and connection that will flow through your family for generations. Discipline rooted in love. Shaping positive karma. Through guidance, discipline is one of the most misunderstood aspects of parenting. For some, the word brings images of punishment, strictness, and control. But in its truest form, discipline is not about power, it's about guidance. It's a way to teach children responsibility, self-control, and respect, while still honoring their dignity and emotional needs. When discipline is rooted in love rather than fear, it becomes a tool for shaping positive karma that benefits both parent and child. Fear-based discipline may bring short-term obedience, but it often leaves behind wounds, resentment, insecurity, or rebellion that affect a child's spiritual and emotional well-being. Love-based discipline, on the other hand, builds trust, strengthens bonds, and creates a karmic pattern where the child associates correction with care, not with humiliation. This distinction is crucial because the energy behind your actions determines the karmic seeds you plant. To practice discipline rooted in love, clarity is essential. Children thrive when they understand what's expected of them and why those expectations exist. Instead of issuing vague commands like, behave yourself, explain what behavior is needed and how it contributes to a peaceful home. This transforms discipline from an act of control into a lesson in responsibility. Consistency is another key. Inconsistent discipline creates confusion and instability, while consistent boundaries give children a sense of safety. Spiritually speaking, consistency is like watering the seeds of karma. You can't expect healthy growth if the watering is unpredictable. A child who grows up with clear and steady boundaries learns that life has structure, but within that structure, love always remains. The emotional tone of discipline also matters. If you correct your child while radiating anger, his karmic imprint may be fear or resistance. If you correct them while radiating calm authority and love, the karmic imprint will be trust and understanding. This doesn't mean you won't feel frustration, only that you pause before responding, so your actions come from your higher self rather than a reactive state. One of the most powerful ways to make discipline karmically positive is to pair correction with encouragement. For example, if your child breaks a rule, you can express your disappointment, but also remind them of the good qualities you see in them. I know you're honest, and I believe you can make this right. This approach holds them accountable while affirming their worth. Over time, they internalize the belief that mistakes do not define them. How they respond does. Love-based discipline is not about avoiding consequences. It's about ensuring consequences teach, not harm. Natural consequences, like cleaning up a mess they made, help children connect actions with outcomes in a healthy way. These experiences, handled with compassion, become karmic lessons in responsibility and empathy. When discipline comes from a place of love, you're not just correcting behavior, you're shaping character. You're planting seeds of integrity, compassion, and self-respect that will continue to bear fruit long after your parenting years are over. In this way, discipline becomes one of the most powerful spiritual gifts you can offer your child. How your daily habits become karmic blueprints for your children. Children don't just listen to what you say, they absorb how you live. Every habit, whether healthy or harmful, becomes part of the environment they grow up in, shaping their values, behaviors, and even their spiritual outlook. From a karmic perspective, your daily routines are more than personal choices. They are blueprints your child may follow consciously or unconsciously for the rest of their life. Think about your own habits, how you speak, how you handle stress, how you treat others, how you spend your time. Each of these patterns sends a silent but powerful message. This is how life is lived. A parent who greets each morning with gratitude plants seeds of appreciation in their child's heart. A parent who constantly complains without seeking solutions may unintentionally pass on a mindset of helplessness. The karmic influence of habits is magnified because children are natural imitators. They don't need a formal lesson to learn. They watch, feel, and mimic. If you make a habit of treating people with respect, whether it's the cashier at the grocery store or a stranger on the street, your child absorbs that respect as a normal way of interacting. If you habitually speak kindly to yourself instead of criticizing your every move, your child learns self-compassion without you ever needing to explain it. Daily habits also set the emotional climate of the home. A routine of shared meals, for instance, fosters connection and stability, while chaotic or disconnected schedules can leave a child feeling adrift. Spiritually, this emotional climate is part of the karmic energy you're cultivating together. A peaceful, loving home environment strengthens your child's inner calm and resilience. It's important to remember that not all habits are visible. Internal habits, your thought patterns, beliefs, and emotions responses also shape the karmic blueprint. If you habitually see challenges as opportunities for growth, your child will inherit that resilience. If you habitually expect the worst, they may grow into that same pattern of fear. This is why self-awareness is so critical in parenting. Changing your inner habits may be just as important as changing your outward ones. Of course, no parent is perfect. You will have habits you wish were better. But here's the spiritual truth. Your willingness to work on yourself is itself a powerful karmic lesson. When your child sees you breaking an old habit, like improving your health or learning patience, they learn that growth is a lifelong journey. This lesson may be one of the most valuable gifts you ever give them. Your habits are living teachings. They speak louder than lectures and last longer than rules. Over time, they become the karmic blueprint your child carries into adulthood, influencing their relationships, career, self-worth, and spiritual path. By choosing your habits consciously, you're not just improving your own life. You're shaping the destiny of the next generation. How unresolved parental karma manifests in children's lives. Karma doesn't end with one generation. It flows through families like an invisible river, carrying both blessings and burdens. When a parent leaves certain karmic lessons unresolved, those patterns can subtly, or sometimes very clearly, appear in the lives of their children. This isn't about punishment. It's about the natural spiritual law that energy, once set in motion, seeks completion. Children often become the next carriers of that energy until it's understood, healed, and released. Unresolved parental karma can take many forms. It may be patterns of fear, anger, or avoidance passed down unconsciously. For example, if a parent grew up in an environment where emotions were suppressed, they may struggle to express love openly. Without intending to, they might pass this emotional distance to their children, who may then grow up believing vulnerability is unsafe. That belief, rooted in past unresolved energy, becomes part of the child's own life experience. Financial patterns are another common area. If a parent has unresolved karma around scarcity, perhaps due to generations of poverty, they might operate from a fear-based relationship with money. This can be subtly absorbed by the child, who may grow up either repeating the same scarcity mindset or reacting to it with overcompensation. The point is, the karmic thread continues until someone in the lineage consciously breaks it. Unresolved relationship karma is especially powerful. If a parent carries unresolved pain from betrayal, abandonment, or toxic dynamics, it can affect the way they trust others, or even the way they trust their own children. This can influence the child's ability to form healthy relationships later in life. The child may repeat the same cycles or swing to the opposite extreme, but either way, they are still entangled in the karmic energy of the family past. Spiritually speaking, children sometimes choose their parents, at the soul level, because they have agreed to work through these karmic patterns together. This doesn't mean a child is doomed to repeat their parents' mistakes. Rather, it means they have a unique opportunity to heal the very patterns that have been waiting for resolution for generations. The parents' willingness to do inner work can dramatically change the trajectory, not only for themselves, but for their children and even their future descendants. Awareness is the first step. By looking honestly at your own life and recognizing where you carry unresolved pain, unhealthy beliefs, or unhelpful patterns, you can begin the process of breaking the cycle. Healing might involve therapy, spiritual practice, forgiveness, or simply the courage to act differently than you were taught. Each time you choose a new, healthier response, you are rewriting the karmic story for your family. When a parent actively works to resolve their own karma, they give their children a priceless gift: the freedom to live their own lives without carrying the weight of unfinished business from the past. In this way, healing yourself becomes an act of deep love, not just for you, but for generations yet to come. The karmic importance of unconditional love in parenting. Unconditional love is the highest vibration a parent can offer. And from a karmic perspective, it's the purest form of energy you can pass on to your children. It's a love that doesn't depend on achievement, behavior, or conditions. It exists simply because the child exists. This kind of love nourishes the soul, strengthens the spirit, and creates a karmic imprint of worthiness that can guide a child for a lifetime. Many parents believe they love unconditionally, yet their actions sometimes reveal subtle conditions. A child might feel more celebrated when they succeed, or more withdrawn from when they make mistakes. Over time, this can plant a seed of belief that love must be earned. Spiritually, that belief can echo through a child's relationships, leading them to seek validation and approval from others instead of trusting their own inner worth. Unconditional love does not mean permissiveness or the absence of boundaries. In fact, strong and loving boundaries are part of it because they communicate care and security. The difference is that boundaries are enforced without withdrawing love. A child who breaks a rule might face consequences, but they should never feel that their parents' love has been diminished because of it. This balance teaches them that mistakes are part of growth, not reasons for rejection. From a karmic standpoint, unconditional love breaks cycles of shame and fear that may have existed in previous generations. If you were raised in an environment where love was conditional, choosing to love your child without conditions is an act of spiritual revolution. You're interrupting a karmic pattern and planting seeds of emotional safety that will carry forward into your child's future relationships and potentially into their own parenting. Unconditional love also teaches children how to love themselves. When they see that they are valued for who they are rather than what they do, they internalize that same acceptance toward themselves. This self-love becomes a shield against toxic relationships, peer pressure, and self-destructive habits. It also becomes a source of courage, allowing them to take risks, explore their potential, and grow without fear of losing acceptance. In moments of conflict, unconditional love is especially powerful. When tempers flare or mistakes happen, it can be tempting to let frustration overshadow affection. But consciously choosing to reaffirm love in those moments creates a karmic memory. Even when things are hard, I am loved. That memory will be a guiding light in your child's darkest times. Ultimately, unconditional love is more than an emotion. It's a choice you make daily. It's the decision to see your child's soul beyond their behavior, to offer compassion when it's most difficult, and to believe in their inherent goodness even when they stumble. By embodying this love, you create a karmic legacy of acceptance, healing, and trust that can ripple through generations, transforming not just your family story, but its spiritual destiny. How forgiveness between parent and child heals karma. Forgiveness is one of the most transformative forces in the universe, and in the parent-child relationship, it holds the power to release generations of emotional and spiritual weight. From a karmic perspective, unresolved hurt creates energetic bonds that can carry forward for years or even lifetimes until they are addressed. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks those bonds, freeing both parent and child to live without the burden of past wounds. Every relationship between parent and child will encounter misunderstandings, disappointments, and moments of pain. Sometimes, these hurts are unintentional. A harsh word spoken in stress, a forgotten promise, a moment of emotional absence. Other times, they may be rooted in deeper issues, patterns of criticism, neglect, or even trauma. Left unhealed, these experiences can create karmic loops where resentment, guilt, and mistrust keep repeating. The beauty of forgiveness is that it doesn't require the past to be rewritten. It allows the present to be reclaimed. For parents, seeking forgiveness from their children is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and humility. It tells the child, I value our bond more than my pride. This simple act can shift the energy between you, replacing tension with openness. For children, forgiving a parent can be equally liberating. It doesn't mean approving of harmful actions or forgetting what happened. Rather, it means choosing to release the emotional hold those events have on the present. Spiritually, this is a powerful act of reclaiming personal energy. When a child forgives, they stop carrying the weight of the parent's unresolved karma and begin walking their own path with a lighter heart. Forgiveness works both ways. Parents also need to forgive their children, not just for mistakes, but for not always meeting the expectation Ian's parents may have unconsciously placed on them. Expectations, even loving ones, can become karmic traps if they're too rigid. Letting go and forgiving allows both sides to be seen and accepted as they truly are. The process of forgiveness can be supported by honest conversations, active listening, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. Sometimes words aren't enough. Actions that demonstrate change are essential. A parent who has been emotionally distant might begin making consistent efforts to be present. A child who has been rebellious might start showing respect in small, consistent ways. These actions reinforce the sincerity behind the words, strengthening the karmic healing. When forgiveness is given and received with genuine intent, it breaks the cycle of karmic debt. Instead of passing wounds forward, you pass forward wisdom, empathy, and resilience. The healed bond becomes a source of spiritual strength not only for the people involved, but for the entire family lineage. In the end, forgiveness is less about erasing the past and more about rewriting the future. It transforms pain into compassion, distance into connection, and karmic weight into spiritual freedom, allowing love to flow where it was once blocked. How conscious parenting creates positive generational karma. Conscious parenting is more than a trend. It's a spiritual practice that has the power to transform entire family lineages. From a karmic perspective, every mindful choice you make as a parent sends ripples forward, shaping not only your child's life, but the lives of their children and beyond. It's about becoming aware of the energy you bring into your role, understanding the lessons you're teaching through both words and actions, and aligning those lessons with values you want to pass on. Positive generational karma is created when love, wisdom, and balance are deliberately woven into family life. In unconscious parenting, patterns often repeat automatically. Anger breeds anger, fear breeds fear, neglect breeds neglect. In conscious parenting, you break that autopilot cycle. You begin asking, what lesson am I leaving my child with in this moment? How will this choice echo through time? This level of awareness turns parenting into a sacred responsibility. For example, a parent who grew up with criticism might consciously choose to encourage rather than belittle. That choice shifts the child's self-esteem, which influences the way they treat others, the opportunities they believe they deserve, and the level of compassion they show to future generations. The karmic impact is profound. One choice today can alter hundreds of futures. Conscious parenting also involves emotional regulation. Children absorb not just what we say, but how we say it. A calm response in the face of conflict teaches patience and self-control far more effectively than any lecture could. Over time, this creates a karmic pattern of peace rather than chaos. That pattern, once internalized by the child, becomes the emotional foundation they pass on in their own parenting. Another key element is intentional value teaching, whether it's kindness, gratitude, or responsibility. Consciously demonstrating these values makes them part of your child's karmic toolkit. These values aren't learned through occasional conversations. They're absorbed through consistent living examples. A parent who practices gratitude daily plants seeds of appreciation that can bear fruit for generations. Spiritual awareness is also part of conscious parenting. This doesn't mean imposing a specific belief system, but rather nurturing a sense of connection, empathy, and purpose. teaching your child to see beyond themselves, to understand that their actions have consequences that affect others, instills a karmic awareness that influences every decision they make. Breaking harmful cycles and creating positive ones isn't easy. It requires self-reflection, patience, and a willingness to grow alongside your child. But each step you take toward conscious parenting is a step toward rewriting your family's karmic story. You become not just a parent, but a healer of your lineage, someone who plants seeds of love, respect, and resilience that will continue to grow long after you are gone. In this way, conscious parenting becomes an act of spiritual service, transforming your child's present while blessing the generations yet to come. The spiritual rewards of parenting with karmic awareness. Parenting with karmic awareness is not just about correcting behavior or teaching life skills. It is a profound spiritual journey that rewards both parent and child in ways that extend far beyond daily life. When you consciously engage with your parenting choices, considering the long-term energetic and karmic impact, you unlock a deeper level of connection, purpose, and fulfillment that many parents never experience. One of the most immediate rewards is inner peace. When you understand that your child's behavior may be a reflection of your own patterns or past karmic lessons, you stop reacting impulsively. Instead, you respond thoughtfully, with patience and compassion. This approach reduces anger, guilt, and frustration, allowing you to parent from a place of calm and confidence rather than stress and fear. That peace ripples through the household, creating a harmonious environment that nurtures everyone's growth. Another reward is a stronger emotional bond. Children sense when a parent is fully present, aware, and acting from love rather than obligation. This conscious attention creates trust and security, allowing children to open up emotionally and develop a healthy sense of self. The karmic energy of these interactions reinforces love and safety, forming a foundation that will support them throughout life. Spiritual rewards also include the cultivation of wisdom. As you navigate the challenges of parenting with awareness, you learn lessons about patience, empathy, forgiveness, and self-reflection. These lessons are not abstract, they are lived experiences that deepen your understanding of yourself and the world. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, not just for the child, but for the parent, creating a cycle of continuous personal and spiritual development. By parenting with karmic awareness, you also contribute to generational healing. Each conscious choice to act with love, patience, and integrity shifts the energetic patterns that might have been passed down unconsciously. In this way, you break cycles of fear, anger, or neglect, replacing them with positive patterns that can benefit your child, their children, and countless future generations. This is one of the most profound spiritual rewards. The knowledge that your mindful actions are reshaping the karmic legacy of your entire lineage. There is also a sense of fulfillment that comes from recognizing your role as a spiritual guide. Children are not just recipients of your teachings. They are mirrors, teachers, and co-creators of karmic energy. When you embrace this perspective, parenting becomes a sacred practice rather than a series of challenges. You experience the joy of seeing your child grow not only in skills but in soul, knowing that your efforts have contributed to their spiritual development. Ultimately, the spiritual rewards of karmic parenting are cumulative. They appear in moments of connection, in breakthroughs of understanding, and in the quiet satisfaction of knowing that your conscious efforts are shaping lives in profound ways. By embracing this approach, you are not only raising children, you are nurturing souls, cultivating positive karma, and leaving a legacy of love, wisdom, and healing that will continue for generations. Integrating karmic parenting principles to transform family life. The true power of karmic parenting is realized when all the principles, conscious choices, unconditional love, mindful communication, forgiveness, and discipline rooted in care, come together to create a harmonious, spiritually enriched family environment. Integration is not simply about following rules. It's about cultivating awareness in every interaction, recognizing the energy you bring into your home, and understanding the long-term impact of your parenting on your child's soul and your family's generational karma. When these principles are consistently applied, family life transforms from a series of reactive patterns to a space of intentional growth. The energy in the home shifts. Tension, resentment, and unconscious conflict diminish, replaced by connection, understanding, and mutual respect. Children begin to feel safe, valued, and empowered, not because they are shielded from challenges, but because they are guided with wisdom and compassion through life's lessons. Integration starts with self-awareness. As a parent, examining your own behavior, beliefs, and emotional triggers is essential. Every moment you pause to respond rather than react, you reinforce positive karmic energy. For instance, when a child acts out and you respond with calm guidance instead of anger, you are teaching emotional regulation while breaking cycles of reactive behavior. Over time, these patterns create a stable and nurturing environment where growth, learning, and love flourish. Unconditional love serves as the foundation. When love is freely given, even during mistakes or conflicts, it becomes a steady anchor for children. Combined with mindful communication, children learn that honesty, vulnerability, and expression are safe, and that their feelings matter. Forgiveness, both given and received, clears lingering needs. Gative energy, releasing emotional burdens that could otherwise persist across generations. Discipline, when rooted in care rather than fear, reinforces lessons without damaging self-worth. This balance of guidance and compassion helps children internalize values like responsibility, respect, and empathy, forming the basis of their personal and spiritual growth. Each act of discipline, each conversation, and each choice made consciously strengthens the karmic foundation of the family. Integrating these principles also nurtures the parent's spiritual evolution. Parenting becomes a daily practice of mindfulness, patience, and empathy. Each interaction is an opportunity to grow as an individual, to heal your own karmic patterns, and to shape a healthier, more conscious lineage. The parent-child relationship evolves from a simple caregiver dynamic into a shared journey of soul growth, trust, and connection. When a family embodies karmic parenting fully, the transformation is visible in every aspect of life. Communication improves, relationships strengthen, and the home becomes a sanctuary of love and growth. The children raised in this environment carry these positive patterns into their own lives, perpetuating cycles of love, compassion, and spiritual awareness. Ultimately, integrating karmic parenting principles is about more than raising successful children. It's about nurturing souls, healing generational patterns, and creating a legacy of wisdom and love that continues for generations. Every conscious choice, every act of forgiveness, and every word spoken with intention contributes to a family life that is not only harmonious in the present, but karmically blessed for the future. The spiritual legacy of conscious parenting. Parenting is more than guiding a child through childhood. It is a sacred responsibility, a spiritual journey, and a karmic opportunity. Every choice you make, every word you speak, and every lesson you embody leaves an imprint on your child's soul. The energy you bring into your parenting shapes not only their present but also the trajectory of their future, their relationships, and even the generations that follow. Understanding this spiritual connection transforms parenting from a series of tasks into a conscious practice of love, wisdom, and intentional growth. By practicing conscious parenting, you become aware of the karmic energy at play in your family. You recognize that your habits, reactions, and emotional patterns are powerful teachers for your children, whether you intend them to be or not. This awareness gives you the ability to break cycles of fear, anger, and unresolved pain, replacing them with patterns of love, patience, and resilience. Every mindful interaction becomes an opportunity to plant seeds of positive karma that will flourish for years to come. Forgiveness, both for yourself and your child, plays a crucial role in this process. When you release guilt, resentment, or blame, you clear the energetic space necessary for growth, healing, and connection. Children who experience forgiveness learn that mistakes do not define them, that relationships can be restored, and that love can survive challenges. This lesson, once internalized, empowers them to approach life with compassion, understanding, and emotional maturity. Discipline, when rooted in love and communication, when practiced mindfully, create environments where children feel both safe and guided. Boundaries are no longer walls, they are bridges of trust, clarity, and mutual respect. These principles reinforce the karmic message that life is balanced between freedom and responsibility, mistakes and lessons, challenge and growth. The ultimate reward of karmic parenting is not just raising well-behaved children, it is cultivating souls. By parenting consciously, you are not only shaping your child's present life, but also influencing the spiritual and emotional legacy of generations to come. You are leaving behind a blueprint of love, awareness, and resilience that will continue to ripple through time. Remember, parenting is a journey of presence. Every moment holds the potential to plant seeds of love, compassion, and wisdom. The small acts, listening with attention, speaking with kindness, offering forgiveness, setting loving boundaries, accumulate into a powerful karmic legacy. The energy you nurture today will shape the adults your children become and the world they will influence. So, as you move forward, embrace the sacredness of your role. Let every choice, every word, and every action be intentional. Understand that the love, patience, and awareness you cultivate today are the spiritual inheritance your child will carry forever. Ending hook lines. Your parenting is more than a role, it's a legacy. Every choice is a seed, every act a ripple. Start consciously, act intentionally, and watch your family's karma transform into generations of love, wisdom, and spiritual strength. The journey begins now. Make every moment count.